Okay, so just before we start on today's lesson, you might have seen some assignments crop up at your end, and I just wanted to explain what was going on. Now, you might not have a schedule that looks like this. This might just be for a teacher. But as you know, we've been very much into a routine where we do a quick live lesson every lesson, followed by a Hegarty exercise, which you do there and then, and they are the compulsory homeworks. That's the bread and butter of what we've been doing since lockdown. Now, I wrote your reports over the weekend, and one of the things I was commenting on was how well you guys had done across the 3 tests that we had in school. And just to remind you, we had 2 tests in the Michaelmas term, and we had one test in the Lent term close to when school closed. So what I've said in there, say you had one bad test, I've sort of said so-and-so's average over the year was blah, 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 which is really good. They didn't do so well in the Lent test, for example. So it might be an idea, if they want to, if they have time, that they could go and take the Lent test again as a revision exercise. And I've gone and loaded it up as an assignment should they wish to, so that I can mark it and give them feedback. So quite a few of your reports I might have mentioned that you might want to revisit a test. Okay, so I mention that now because obviously you won't be getting your reports for a little while, and you might have wondered why these 3 were sitting there. So you can see the due dates are just ridiculous. They're just right at the end of the year because they're not, you know, there's no due date. You only have to do these if you want to. All right, so these are voluntary. They're referred to in some of your reports. And they're just there if you want to do a bit of maths and revise some topics that you weren't so good at. Okay, so nobody has to do them, but they're there if you choose to do so. So on to today's lesson, and we're still working our way through this proportion. Okay, but we're very much getting towards the end of it now, because we've now down to 20.4 in the scheme of work, convert between different currencies. So that's what we're looking at today. So it's just more proportion. I know a lot of you find it quite straightforward, but it's a key topic and it's worth drumming home. So I think it's good that this is included a lot in second form, because it's just so critical to just sort of mathematical logic. So it's 707 will be the Hegarty I want you to do, please. So I just thought I'd work through 3 questions just for you. Just to sort of see how to set them out really in your workings. And it's great, those of you who are uploading your workings. So obviously it's really important that you get the work done and you get a good percentage. That's sort of essential. But those of you who are then uploading your workings, that's excellent. So I can just see how your sort of exercise book's coming along at home. So here's question 2. So this is how I would like you to set these out. The questions are very short. Use this exchange rate to convert these dollars into pounds. So start off by writing out the exchange rate. So pounds to dollars, £1 to $1.35. And then make sure you go and put the other currency in the appropriate column. So on this occasion, it's $54. So that goes into the dollars column. Now, we want to scale up. We want to see how many times bigger 54 is than 1.35. So you get your calculator out and you do 54 divided by 1.35, and that will give you the multiplier of 40. Okay, so the right-hand side's 40 times bigger, so the left-hand side has to be 40 times as bigger as well. £1 times 40 is obviously £40. Final answer for question 2. So let's have a look at question 4. Exactly the same idea. They give us the currency exchange rate as £1 is $1.35, and we're given $8.70. So put that in the dollars column. We want to know what the multiplier is to get from the first row to the second. So 1.35 times what gives us 8.70. So you get your calculator out and you do 8.70 divided by 135, and that gives you a multiplier of 6.444 recurring. Okay, so because the right hand side is that many times bigger, so is the left. So that gives us £6.44444. The only difference here is read the question. You're giving your answer to 2 decimal places. So that's 2 numbers after the decimal point. So we round down. So that's £6.44. Okay, and then finally, an example, I've done question 7. Okay, exactly the same idea. The exchange rate we're given is £21 is 500 rubles, and 780 is the rubles we need to convert. So get those into the rubles column. What's our multiplier? We do 780 divided by 500, giving us a multiplier of 1.56. Take your £21, multiply by 1.56, gives you an answer of 32.76. And I think it came to exactly that. I didn't have to round it, but obviously my answer required it to be to 2 decimal places. So quite a straightforward one, guys. I'd appreciate it if you've got that done now. It would be great, particularly if you've got it done quickly, if you can upload your workings for me to have a look at onto Teams. I'm very keen that you're setting it out this way, like I'm setting it out here. Obviously, if you finish well within time, go back and then fill any gaps you've got. And a number of you have still got 1 or 2 assignments outstanding, tasks outstanding, or alternatively, you could just go and try and improve a mark. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me. When do I see you next? Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, period 6. But I'm still here, so any queries, give a shout on posts, and I'll be keeping an eye out on your masks and giving your marks rather, and giving you feedback. Okay, guys, that's it.